open the space for today. We were guided to put this together. So thanks everybody for your patience. We are opening this container. Of course, this is a dragon transmission, and also we're grounding those codes templates for this Bali journey. So let's do some breathing and see what wants to come in, and then I'll share. Dreamtime has been super active. I know everybody is also having a variety of things happen. And it feels like today is really important. It's also a day that a few others have talked about. And, it's interesting because, well, let's breathe first because I'll go right into it. Chikan Zambano Hutu Tohana Martai Kalikona. So opening energetics for this transmission. So what I noticed, because it happened also last year, is it tends to be a long cycle to move into January. And usually by February 1st, many of the things that we did, I would say in December, but probably more like November, December of last year, finally grounding, integrating into the energetic grid. So it feels like today feels much more grounded. A lot of us have been working in dream time. So if you're feeling all that, then you're not alone. So what was coming in yesterday also with, a few people that I work with, along with Kacie and I, a lot of discussions, a lot of information about really what this journey is about that we're taking and others are taking. So it feels like many of us are being called to Bali. As I mentioned, 2018, originally I was headed to Bali. I was working with the water dragons at that time. And last minute, I got rerouted to Kauai, and that was October 2018. So this for me is a timeline of, okay, now it's time for what I carry and also for what Kacie carries and many others to physically now be on that grid, right? So there's a lot coming in, and yeah. Messages and all sorts of things. So, Kacie, anything coming in for you before we begin?
So there are certain dragon codes and keys that wish to come through as we're sharing information today. So all of you that have that dragon element that you're attached to, whether it's your dragon self, your dragon energy, you work with dragons, they're showing up in dream time. What we talk about today may be an activation for you and bringing that forward more in a solid way. And you may be finding that you're being called to work with Valerie and myself. You may be finding that you're called to come and work with the dragons in Bali. There's certain dragons that are coming forward to work with us specifically to open up the portals while we are there. The dragons of Mu are coming forward that hold the most ancient codes and keys and are excited to work with us. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. I feel maybe to read that message that came through. Was it yesterday? Yeah, activating the peaks and the valleys. So I want to read that message and then I'll see what wants to come in from the dragons. So if you have any questions, hi everybody. I just went on Facebook, so we are live. Everyone's seeing it.
Okay.
Thank you for joining. Okay, I just want to read this message. It came in yesterday. Activating the peaks and the valleys of the ancient code holders, the grounding codes. So what we're feeling for this journey is these are ancient remembrances. So as I wrote in there, this is a working trip. There'll be time during this journey if free time if you want to explore or do more touristy things, but that's not something that we're putting in our program. So it's very much if you're called, you'll know. um, Bringing the etheric down from the heavens and placed back in the earth beneath the ocean is where the heart of these codes once lived to be returned again. Oh, I'm getting chills. So that's a really important piece of what's happening. We might be doing some diving because this is a lot about the water. And those of you that work with me know, I mean, I've been working a lot, and many of us, with the water, with Pangea, with those ancient ley lines. Of course, Bali is very ancient. So there might be some underwater activities. uh, you know, this is very intuitive. As many of you know, for grid work, you get the overview and, we have some detail about what we're going to be doing, but it's very much going to be a spirit-led journey. So this is about different dragon races. I was feeling that was coming up yesterday, and different key holders. Okay, so these are keepers of the codes until this earth was ready to receive them again. So that's part of so you might be working this ley line or others. And, we can't do it with just one. That's why we're opening up the space, because there's more of us that hold these codes. Bali is the first gathering place for the dragon races to return in fullness. The energy of Bali is already attuned to that of the dragons. We are home here among the volcano temples. You are blessed to be among all of us, and this is from the dragons. So this is a kind of an invitation and an opening and translation. Thank you, Kacie, for that. Okay, so if anyone has any comments, let us know. Kacie, anything else before we go into the transmission?
The dragon races just want to be acknowledged a little bit more. There was energetics around that when you spoke about that, right? So, yeah, Bali's the first gathering place. The dragons are all coming together in order to create the shift on the planet that we're going to see echoed out this year to different locations. And Bali's the starting point because it already holds the energetics of Mu, the most ancient location. And when we talk about Mu, we're talking about the timeline that existed before Lemuria.
Yes.
So all of you that carry your Lemurian codes, you may be feeling activated when we talk about Mu also, when we talk about Bali, because Bali is the energetics of Mu already established.
Exactly. I feel like, is there anything else you want to say about Mu? Because I love that we're making this distinction. Some of you might understand the separation, or not separation, but Mu is the ancient pieces. Lemuria is more of the modern, you could say colonial, right? If you use those terms. But this is really the codes of Mu. That was a very specific frequency, because that's the ancient frequency, right? Anything else you want to add to that before I open for the transmission?
Just to explain that when I see it, the Lemurian energy and the Mu energy are connected. They are one, but they're at the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right.
We think of Mu as like the starting place, and then the evolution happens and then it evolves into Lemuria, right?
Yeah.
And we can see the overlap then later with Lemuria into Atlantis, right? So there's a connection between all of them, and we're going back to the very beginning for this work. And so those of us that have that remembrance that can tap back into the energy of Mu, or if we are able to tap back into at least Lemuria and then allow ourselves the expansion to go even further, that's what we're calling into this journey. It's a sacred journey. And it's not just for, visiting Bali. We're here to do a little bit of work. And the time that we're offering with our retreat is a specific time, but Valerie and I will be there in prep work the week before to do the energetics, to open the portals, to prepare the space for all those who wish to come and join us for the second half.
Yes, thank you. So we're open if you're feeling called to work with us before the group gathering. Let us know, because we're open to that as well. We have a number of things that we have to do the week prior, which of course I didn't know when I was getting the dates. Starts this is like the holy 2 weeks in the Gregorian calendar anyway, from St. Patrick's Day to Easter. I didn't realize Easter was on the 31st. So this journey is, Good Friday to Easter. So there's some interesting energetics during that 2 weeks that I wasn't aware of. So that, just to put that, the journey ends on 3/31, which is Easter. Okay.
And we'll be there for the equinox that week before to open
Yes.
up the space, and the equinox being a great shift on the earth, the change in the energetics for more things to come forward.
Yes, this is a spring equinox journey, although, because we will be physically there, and we might offer, if you want to be part of what we're doing, we might offer some ceremonies and something on the equinox as a remote. So there's still chances to join us. So we're just seeing how it all unfolds, but we're open to whoever's feeling called in whatever way. Okay. Okay. Transmission. Oh, someone's coming in.
We're letting Ada come in and join our space.
Oh, awesome. Hi, Ada. Yay. I love it. Okay, I am going to open the space for this transmission. Feel free to be seated, or you can lie down for this. If you work with dragons and you have a dragon that you work with, you can call them in, of course. Yamatorande tokusunjo jobushnen sunjo maila nordel. Okay, what I'm seeing, we're doing some dragon spine. Okay, we're working along the spine. Now, I think if I remember correctly, originally this was really Earth Dragon. I work with the Earth Dragons, of course, also fire and water. But I'm seeing this is spine, which is bringing me back to Maui, which started my Lemurian grid work. That was in 2017. And so if any of you been to Red Sand Beach, you know what I'm talking about. It's total dragon lair. And you can see, I'm going to have to post it now. You can see the dragon spine literally coming down. It's quite magical. So that's what I'm hearing, is that we're working along the spine. Okay. Achutchai usortande. So we're activating spine. Okay. So you might feel it in your spine, but we're activating this next level. These are the new codes, right? New templates. These are activation codes. Apanda shikiama no shiki anda tokon chanjamaito. Isarala ikande tortikan shikande. Tamat konsanjaita. Isorhoto kosanjai tayan nornai kote. Tato lai ata nehita roteko. To nohot ai. Daroto koshai shashamba nahana ikoto kaita. and tan shiso vushna ki ansan jongontai. To no halane koko lanja mohoto. Elan tetekatu shatorata shanjeka zanjiatoto. Kayan do tayan sanjaru kuchambaila tohota. And na no handai yohotekiamto. Yeshukot sanjana rina ni tata data. It's somewhat of a dragon family reunion. I don't think it's the whole reunion, but I feel like, again, if you're feeling to be there, that is part of a return, because a lot of, I'll say, some monad soul family are going to Bali either before us or after us. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the timing is important. What you were saying as you were doing the activation is that we were bringing back the ancient parts and pieces, the new codes, the activation codes, the ancient portals opening like petals on the spine, allowing these ancient pathways for expansion and upgrading of all the elemental pieces to come forward.
Yes. Apatumai o ukatataito. Matande toko o kaisa chachama. E ina huta ko tan shikotsan. Ina norita kama neata. Those of you who weave understand, right? This is the rainbow serpent weaving through all of the different lands. And so Uluru in Australia, a grid that I have worked remotely, I have not physically been there, but a lot of the pieces, right? So if you think about that coil and all of the different sacred grid points on the planet. So I'm getting that reference because when I was supposed to be in Bali and then moved to Kauai, I heard it wasn't ready for at least what I'm holding. This was in 2018. So, and what I was doing was weaving from Kauai to Bali. There was a major ley line there. That's what I was working on. So those of you who work on those Hawaiian grids, there's many of you, I'm sure, on the call. It is a remembrance, right? We're bringing in not only our ancient remembrance, but this incarnation's energetic templates. So, and a lot of us have been doing this on our own or with 1-2 other people, right? Small groups. But now is the time for those larger gatherings. I've said this before, many of you see it. I've seen it for a few years, that this would be the year that we physically get on the land, physically be with each other, because it brings all of our parts and pieces and codes together and forms that cymatic, my favorite word, the sacred geometry. Right? It forms a very important container, energetic container that others can come into. And nothing needs to be done. They could just come into it and feel what many of us feel, especially when we're on the land and when we're together. So there's my 3D explanation.
No, that feels really important. It feels important that we stop trying to do the work on our own, right?
Yeah.
To shoulder everything for everybody else, because we are the ones that are listening to the call. And now we're noticing that others are being called too. And so this is part of us sending out that invitation for those who have that connection to come work with us.
And this is open to men and women, so this isn't just for women. Some beautiful brothers are showing up. So this is really, again, the dragon family, right? Whoever is feeling that energetic pull. And if you can physically come, great, but you don't have to. You can also, like I said, be involved in any of these pieces. Hopefully we'll have enough we'll have bandwidth when we're on the land. I know we have it at our space, but I don't know about out and about on Bali. We shall see how good the Wi-Fi is. Okay, so I can't see any questions. I don't know if you can, Kacie. Does anyone have questions? Any comments?
Um, Nicole had mentioned that she had a sand dragon that came to her, which was beautiful. So she's working in that element.
Ooh, I love that. That brings up sand, right? So like Bali, because I immediately felt Egypt on that one. And that's also coming. Working on an Egypt journey. Ooh, I love that. Is it on the beach, that kind of sand? I don't think I've ever worked with sand dragons.
That's a new energy. Feels good.
It is a new energy. I love it.
I can
Okay.
see it. I can see it in Egypt for sure. I can see the
Yeah,
Egypt.
totally.
Yeah.
Just saw desert. Okay, anybody else? Any more questions?
That's it for a minute. Do we want to talk about the retreat space or
Yes,
our
yes, yes.
itinerary? What feels good to come forward at this time?
Yes, so I just want to talk a little bit about the retreat. I do have a more detailed itinerary. So if anybody's interested, I can send that to you. But basically, it is, like I said, starts March 24th and it begins at 333. So um, we have an amazing spot. It's an eco village, very much, Kacie found it. And it was very much guidance from the dragons because, this is a co-creation with them, right? Oh, thanks you. Thank you, Ada. Yes, I know, right? So Egypt, hopefully we'll have some details soon. Anyway, so this is an eco village. We booked the entire village, so it's 5 separate bungalows, and it's an amazing space. If you haven't seen it, I put a bunch of pictures up on the event page, and like I said, I can send you the detailed itinerary. Um, so we have 3 full days of excursions. So it's going to be a mix of ceremony. We're kind of filling that in now, ceremony, activations on the property. And it's quite large. There's a pool. We're right by the lake. Um, so we're going to be doing a mix of things there and then also out. And so the itinerary details all the temples that we're going to. Again, everything is very specific. We're going through and looking at exactly what we need to do. So there'll be a mix of water ceremony also at the property, and in a couple, we are going to some water temples, important ones. And it feels like there's a mix of masculine, feminine as well as I'm going a little deeper. So we have a driver and we have already set up our excursions. So 3 full days outside doing excursions. And then we're going to have, of course, the rest of the time at the property. And you will have free time to, do your own thing, go into town, etc. Like I said, there's some people that are already in Bali and some are physically coming. They'll be there when we're there. So we're really open to how you want to work with us. But there's 5 separate bungalows. So we figured, some will be shared. If you want to come with a friend, there's a shared price, double occupancy. And then if you just want to have your own bungalow, but again, there's just 5. So if you're interested, let us know. There might be space for other properties. The host has a couple of other houses as well. So, we just work here.
It feels important to say, Valerie, that because Bali has so many temples, there's certain temples that we are guided to specifically on this trip in order to do the work that we need to do.
Yeah.
And also there's the anchoring into the volcanoes. And so we're going to be going to a volcano viewpoint where we can do another ceremony or a connecting into the volcano from that location.
Right.
And specific dragon energies to come in and connect with us there at that location. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll be doing some prep work, I guess. we've got some pieces of it. So, as you grid workers know, you just get all your tools and show up and then it's go. So, but we're really excited. And I'm just grateful. Kacie found this amazing property. I had not seen it. So, again, if you go on the event page, you can take a look at all of the pictures. And I also put some of the temples that we're going to be at. And who knows, once we get there and depending on who shows up, other things can manifest. So we're being very flexible and in the flow.
Yeah, the energetics of the container of those who arrive, right, will kind of dictate what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely feeling the divine masculine and feminine to come up and be with us in this container. So we're inviting that male energy to come join us also. Feels really good at this time.
Yay.
Yeah.
I have a few more words.
You have language that wants to come through? Okay.
Yeah, let me see what it is. الأشفاء لجهتكو سكات نزام تكا أنسكشي أندر مهدي عندي إنا ناخد كيشة دو جانجاي لما دي تاخدي كوهايتا. I'm being pulled back to the spine. There's something really important about that. And that also might be if I look at the temples, right? If I look at the mapping, feels like very much the spine on the physical earth. Although there's some underwater pieces, but I'm seeing that we're connecting those dots on the island. That's what I'm seeing. With what the temples and when we're going, because I looked at what day and where we're going and where we need to be. So everything is very specific, but I am seeing that's what we're doing. It's some type of reconnection of that dragon spine. Yay!
That's beautiful. I love how all the parts and pieces come in just as we need them.
I know, of course.
We get all the information we need at the right time, right? So, yes. And just finding that location, right? The guides led me to that location. I didn't choose it. I was divinely guided for specific reasons, right? And it's right along the river. So very much so like we're going to be doing our water river ceremony there.
And it's at the end of the rainy season. So I think it's pretty wet over there, but the end of March, I guess rainy season ends end of March. So hopefully
it will be fine. I'm pretty pampered when it comes to weather experiences. For those of you who know what work I do, I'm used to big weather kind of conditions working with my guides, but also calling in when we need sunshine to do the work is the easy thing to have happen for sure. Yeah.
El dahat ko sa halta tishitamel no nyamatorne nanaila apando pa utukasamba shashiama nanuet utukundal el nanahanu ko alama lando torati shai shata isakot Ishukosanja hanje kansenjanja maruna nohoto kotsanjiata nachot shi an shikisa shoshohun shikisal lang tukanda dalane shosofrod ai patroto chakanda de kiana niana shiki an dorot de I an de tokunde shoshamania tokoto ta Mahushi ang shikolan sa chavu shama hodai yor da lan de kaanda na khane et take shapait.
That was a lot of words.
That was a lot of words.
Part of what you said, for many of you, there will be waves of remembering as you step back onto the land, a passageway back to your most ancient selves. Yeah. And the dragons wanted to convey that there's going to be dragon attunements and dragon blessings for those who choose to step into this work. Yeah. It feels like no matter what we do going forward, the dragons are going to have a ever present existence with us, a tangible existence with us, like tangible work, tangible experiences.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Okay, any other questions on the journey? So we are, it does include meals, except for a couple nights or if whenever you're in town on your own free time. But we are working with there's a staff at the resort, the eco resort. And so we're working with them on providing meals, and then we're working on when we're off on our journey. So we're excited about that. And then we also are talking to a yoga instructor local in Bali about doing a couple morning classes and then maybe like an evening one. And if you go onto the event page, you'll see the platform. It's right adjacent to the river. So I'm just, it's going to be quite magical.
We have more friends that are popping on live. So if you guys want to go back and take a look at what we've talked about a little bit when you get a chance, if that feels good. And then
Yeah,
open for any questions, comments that come forward after the inspiration of this kind of hits your field. Happy to engage in any way that feels good.
perfect. Okay, anything else?
I feel pretty complete at this time. It feels like we might do one more live before
Yeah, for
the event
sure.
with the last little bit of things that want to come forward. This is just the invitation for you guys to come and be in our field, feel our energy, connect with the dragons, and stepping back into your ancient selves.
Apatan de chicken zamano uta etuka ela pahutu shitoran chicken sa amalto mahitai amanea matokundai taita.
Beautiful.
Okay, thank you everybody for joining us live. And email, text us, not email, Facebook. Reach out to Kacie and I with any questions. If you are interested, we're just looking for a deposit, 50% of the space, and in order to reserve a space, and then we'll send you over details and an application, etc. So again, reach out to us, and we'll see you very soon.
Yes, blessings on your day, everyone.
Blessings. Aloha. Thank you, Ada, for joining us live. Much love. Bye.